Good day, you all, and welcome to the mic. I am Maremo. Today, I want to ask you a question. Who do you want to be? You see, what you want should be determined by who you want to be. I have two questions for you before we begin. The first question is, how many of you have New Year's resolutions and goals that you want to achieve this year? I hope that many of you have your hands up. My second question is, how many of those goals are similar or identical to the goals that you had last year? Let's get to it. Welcome to the show. You see, many of us have goals and we have New Year's resolutions that we set at the beginning of each and every year. At the beginning of last year, I had written down that I want to start a YouTube channel. So I recorded a video. I just never posted it. I wrote down that I want to start exercising and I want a six-pack. So I opened a gym membership. I wrote down that I wanted to start doing yoga. So I bought myself a yoga mat. I wanted to start journaling. So I bought a journal. But what I found was as the year began, I was very motivated. But as the year went on, 2 months down the line, when work had become hectic and there were certain struggles in my personal life, the first thing that I did was stop working on my New Year's resolutions and my goals. They were the first thing that gave way. And what then happened is that those good habits that I wanted to build were then replaced by my vices: drinking alcohol, staying up late, sleeping longer than what I should, watching pornography. All of these things that I knew were not good for me and things that I wanted to stop. And so this year, when I began thinking about my goals and thinking about New Year's resolutions, I realized that I needed to start doing things differently. Because for the last couple of years, I've been doing the same things over and over again, and I was seeing the same results. Because as Aristotle said, you are what you repeatedly do. And so I thought to myself, I need to find a different way of going about this. And so I asked myself 3 questions. And those are the 3 questions that I want to interrogate with you today. The first question that I had to ask myself was, who do I want to be? What kind of person do I want to be? What kind of man do I want to be? And so I moved away from focusing on the outcomes and I started to dream, to imagine, and to create for myself the kind of individual that I wanted to be. And there were no barriers or restrictions that I placed on myself, because I realized that real change begins with a change of self-identity, that I can't think the same way and hope to act any different from my core thoughts and my core beliefs. So I asked myself, what kind of man do I want to be? And I settled on the following, that I want to be a man who is impeccable with his word, who says what he's going to do and does what he said he was going to do. I wanted to speak life into other people. I wanted to be the kind of man who does not judge others, because I do not know if I was in the exact same circumstances, if I walked in their shoes, I don't know that I would have behaved any differently. I wanted to be a man who does not make assumptions, who tries as far as possible to be as objective and as rational as possible. I wanted to be a man who does not take anything personally, because I realize that people do things that is in their interest, and sometimes that is going to be to my benefit and other times it's going to be to my detriment. I wanted to be an individual who is considered in his thoughts, his words, and his actions. I wanted to be an individual who is substantial, who is solid, who is good, a man who is kind, calm, and empathetic. I want to be a man whose family and friends can rely and count on them. I wanted to be a millionaire. I want to be wealthy. I want to be a man who's full of energy, who has vitality, who is strong and healthy. I wanted to be an individual who is a best-selling author, who is a well-renowned speaker. I wanted to love my wife. I wanted to be a family man. I wanted to be an individual who knows and who truly understands that I am the creator of my own reality, the captain of my own ship, that I am the master of my own destiny, that I have the power and the capability to create the reality that I dream and I envision for myself. And when I was coming up with these different statements and coming to these different realizations, I was filled with a sense of excitement. And so I turned those statements into affirmations that I read each and every morning to remind myself of the kind of person that I want to be. Once I had settled on the kind of person I want to be, I asked myself the second question that I encourage you to ask yourself, and that is, what are some of the things that the person I want to be does on a consistent basis? You see, oftentimes we try to reach a certain outcome. You want to lose 20 kgs, but you don't have a reason. You want to start journaling, but you don't have a why. You want to start meditating, but there's no clear focus area for that goal. And so what often happens is that when trouble starts, when work gets more difficult, when families become more demanding, because we don't have a strong enough why, because the reason that we started that particular activity is not based on our identity, we start to falter. So then I asked myself the second question, right? What are some of the things that the kind of person I want to be does on a consistent basis? I want it to be healthy. I want it to be full of vitality. I want it to be stronger. And so I needed to exercise. So every morning I do yoga for 30 minutes. And then on Tuesdays I play paddle, on Wednesdays and Thursdays I play five-a-side soccer. Because those are the things that the kind of person I want to be like would do. I want to be an individual who is considered in his thoughts, in his words, and in his actions. So I need to meditate to make sure that I have clarity of thought and that I am conscious about the words that I say and that I am level-headed and I am intentional in the actions that I take. I wanted to be an individual who can be counted on by his friends and by his family, and so I needed to put measures in place that allows me to constantly engage with my family. And so I diarized all of their birthdays, same with my friends. So even if life gets difficult and I don't get to see them during the year, at least on their birthdays, I know that I've sent them a message or I gave them a call. And so the kind of person that I want to be started to dictate the actions that I should implement in my day-to-day lives. I remember there was a day I was in bed and it was 4 a.m. My alarm had gone off and it was time to wake up, and I was tired, and I thought about hitting that snooze button and sleeping, but I asked myself the question, what kind of man do I want to be? And I want to be the kind of man who is impeccable with his word, who does what he said he's going to do when he said he was going to do it. And so I got out of bed. And that's how I win the small battles that I constantly face against what I know I should do and what is the easy and comfortable thing to spend my time doing. And then the third question that I had to ask myself was, what would make me happy? You see, oftentimes we know the kind of people that we want to be. We know the things that that individual should be doing. So therefore, you know the things that you should be doing. However, the things that you are meant to be doing don't bring you joy. And instead of finding a way to find happiness or to change the activity, we just stop entirely. And so, for example, I wanted to become an individual who was healthy. But I did not enjoy going to the gym. I know there are people who get pumped and are amped, and gym gives them this energy and gives them this confidence. That never worked for me. However, what I found was I enjoyed yoga because it contributed to my meditation practice. So I do yoga every morning. And then I realized that when it came to competitive sports, I loved participating. So in high school, I loved doing sports because I was competing with other people. If I'm coaching and one of the kids wants to challenge me to a race, I'll race them even though I haven't stretched and I'm going to pay the consequences a little later that evening. And so I realized that my problem is not that I don't enjoy exercise. I just don't enjoy the type of exercise that I participate in the gym. And so on Tuesdays, I play paddle. It's competitive, it's cardio, it's good for my heart. And on Wednesday and Thursday, I play five-a-side football. And so you can shape your life and the things you do to fit in with the things that bring you joy. Because let's be honest, nobody enjoys doing something over and over again that they personally do not like doing. And so we need to find ways and formulas to make sure that whatever it is that you are going to do to become the person you want to be brings you some sort of happiness and some sort of joy. And so 3 simple questions that I want you to ask yourself as you reframe your goals in your New Year's resolution, where you move away from the outcomes that you want to reach and you focus on yourself, where you are not trying to become like somebody else, where you are not trying to follow the advice that you have heard from other people, because let's be honest, they're not you and they are not living your life on a day-to-day basis. So you need to decide for yourself. You need to craft an image. You need to craft an identity that you want to pursue, that wakes you up every morning. Because often we depend on external motivation, on the videos that we watch, on the songs that we listen to, whereas true motivation is based from your self-identity, which is internal, and then you exude this confidence externally that leads you to achieve your goals. So you first ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? Secondly, what are the things that that kind of person does on a consistent basis? And then you work as hard as possible to do those things on a daily basis. And therefore, self-improvement does not become a target, but it becomes a way of life for you. And lastly, you ask yourself, what will make me happy? And you craft that into your daily routine and into your daily life. And hopefully you will start to see that your vices and your bad habits will start to fall away, because you now have a standard that you want to hold yourself to. And if every single day you constantly ask yourself the question and you remind yourself of the answers that you came to in your analysis of who you want to be, then I am confident that you will have a more fruitful and more beneficial year than you have had in the past few years. Thank you so much for your time. If you're enjoying my content, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let's continue this conversation and this dialogue. With love, peace, and happiness, I am Maremo. Pick up that mic, make an impact. Remember that you are the creator of your own reality, the captain of your own ship, and the master of your own destiny. Go out there and create a life that you are absolutely proud to live. Have yourself a fantastic day.